Okay, this is the 10th canto, 3rd chapter, verse 27. Can you see that, Al?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So text 27, you know the drill. I'm going to do the Sanskrit synonyms and translation. You do the one sentence purport for the first one. So it's Rishayo Manavo Deva Manuputra Mahojasa Kalo Sarve Harerave Saprajapatyashmita. Synonyms: Risha, all the sages; Manava, all the Manus. Manus are like the fathers of mankind. Deva, that's where the word man comes from, by the way, Manus. Deva, all the demigods. Manuputra, all the descendants of Manu. Maha Ojasa, very powerful. Kala, portion of the plenary portion. Sarve, all collectively. Hare, of the Lord. Eva, certainly. Sa Prajapatyaya, along with the Prajapatis. Prajapatis are the progenitors. They're one of the ones that increase the population through sexual activity. I mean, Daksha, he had thousands of children, hundreds of thousands. They lived a long time back then. Smrita are known. Translation: all the rishis, manus, demigods, and descendants of Manu who are especially powerful are plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions of the Lord. This also includes the Prajapatis. Go ahead.
The purport: those who are comparatively less powerful are called Vibhuti, and those who are comparatively more powerful are called Vesha, Incarnation. Hope I said the V word right.
Yeah, Avesha. The S with a slash over it is pronounced SH, just like Śikṣāṣtaka. The slash above it or a dot below the S is both pronounced SH. Just a little bit different in the intonation. Text 28. Ete chamsa kala prumsa. This is a really important verse. It establishes Kṛṣṇa. Jiva Goswami, one of the followers of Lord Chaitanya, one of the 6 Goswamis, he wrote a whole chapter describing how Lord Kṛṣṇa is the original incarnation. Some people say in the Vedas, they interpret the Vedas as saying that Kṛṣṇa appeared from Vishnu, like Vishnu plucked out of white hair and a black hair, and one of them became Kṛṣṇa and one of them became Balaram. Kṛṣṇa became the black from the black hair, and then Balaram came from the white hair. But that's not true. And he refutes it with chapter and verse. And he cites this verse in particular to prove that Kṛṣṇa is a source of all incarnations. Just like you have a candle, and one candle can light all other candles. They each have the same candle power, like all the incarnations of Godhead, like Nrsimhadev, like I have on my altar, and Kurma, the turtle incarnation, and Matsya, and Vamana, the dwarf incarnation, and so many different incarnations. There's numerous as the waves of the ocean. But Kṛṣṇa, and they all have the same candle power, but Kṛṣṇa is the original candle that lights them all. Everyone is coming from Kṛṣṇa. He is called Swayam Bhagavan. Swayam means the original person. So let me just read this. Ete chamsa kala pumsam Kṛṣṇastu Bhagavan Swayam Indriyari Vakulyam Lokam Mridyantu Yuge Yuge. Synonyms: ete, all these; cha, and; amsa, plenary portions; kala, portions of the plenary portions; pumsa, of the supreme; Kṛṣṇa, Lord Kṛṣṇa, too; but Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead; Svayam, in person; Indriyari, the enemies of Indra; Vyakulam, disturbed; Lokam, all the planets; Mridyanti, gives protection; Yuge, in different ages. All the above mentioned incarnations, that they just listed all of them. in these first 27 verses. All the above mentioned incarnations are either plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions of the Lord. But Lord Sri Kṛṣṇa is the original personality of Godhead. All of them appear on planets whenever there is a disturbance created by the atheists. The Lord incarnates to protect the atheists. Kṛṣṇa says that in the Bhagavad Gita. Maybe you remember. But in the Bhagavad Gita, Kṛṣṇa says, Ata Sri Kṛṣṇa Namadi. No, yada hi dharmasya galani bhavati bharata bhutanam dharmasya tadatmanam shujamyaham. Whenever and wherever there's decline in religious principles and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself in order to annihilate all the miscreants and protect the devotees. That's
Yes, I've heard of that.
And when he appears in this material world, but he doesn't come just for that reason. That's just a side thing. He could kill all the demons just by his own energies, but he specifically appears because he wants to protect his devotees, and he wants to give them his association. So that's another reason. That's the main another main reason why he comes. He's got a really secret mission too, why he comes, but that's Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya comes for a very special reason, because he couldn't understand why Radharani loved him so much. And so he decided to come and taste that himself by playing the part of a devotee like Radharani. So you think, it's hard to understand women? Even God doesn't understand women. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Yeah.
All right. So anyway, all the above mentioned incarnations are the plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions of the Lord. But Lord Sri Kṛṣṇa is the original personality of Godhead. All of them appear on planets whenever there is a disturbance created by the atheists. The Lord incarnates to protect the theists. Go ahead.
Yeah. The purport is, in this particular stanza, Lord Sri Kṛṣṇa, the personality of Godhead, is distinguished from all other incarnations. He is counted amongst the avatars and the incarnations because out of his causeless mercy, the Lord descends from his transcendental abode, which is the avatar, means one who descends. All the incarnations of the Lord, including the Lord himself, descends to the different planets of the material world, as also in different species of life to fulfill the particular missions. Sometimes he comes himself, and sometimes he is different plenary portions of parts or parcels of the plenary portions, or his differentiated portions directly or indirectly empowered by him, descended to this material world to execute certain specific functions. Originally, the Lord is full of all opulences, all prowess, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and all renunciation, when they are partly manifested through the plenary portions of parts of the plenary portions. It should be noted that certain manifestations of his different powers are required for those particular functions. When in the room small electric bulbs are displayed, it does not mean that the electric powerhouse is limited by the small bulbs. The same powerhouse can be supply power to operate large-scale industrial dynamos with greater volts. Similarly, the incarnations of the Lord display limited powers because so much power is needed at this particular time.
For example, Lord Parashuram and Lord Nrsimha displayed unusual opulence by killing the disobedient Kshatriyas 21 times. Lord Parashuram killed all of the warriors. He was mad. And he not only killed them once, but, he lives for a long time. So he killed all their descendants, 21 generations. He created huge lakes full of their blood. Those lakes are still existing in India, but they're not blood anymore, of course. But and so, and then he killed the disobedient Kshatriyas 21 times, and killing the greatly powerful atheist Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu was so powerful that even the demigods and other planets would tremble simply by the unfavorable raising of his eyebrow. The demigods in the higher level of existence many, many times excel the most well-to-do human beings in duration of life, wealth, beauty, paraphernalia, and all other respects. But still, they were afraid of Hiranyakashipu. Thus, we can simply imagine how powerful Hiranyakashipu was in this material world. See, all the demons that exist now in this world are just like little tiny demons compared to this demon. I mean, he was really powerful. But even Hiranyakashipu was cut into small pieces by the nails of Lord Nrsimha. This means that anyone materially powerful cannot stand the strength of the Lord's nails. Similarly, Jamadagnya displayed the power to kill all the disobedient kings. That's also Parshuram, powerfully situated in their respective states. The Lord's powerful, empowered incarnation Narada and the plenary incarnation Varaha, as well as the indirectly empowered Lord Buddha, created faith in the mass of people. The incarnations of Ram and Dhanvantari displayed his fame, and Balaram, Mohini, and Vamana exhibited his beauty. Dattatreya, Matsya, Kurma, and Kapila exhibited his transcendental knowledge. Nara and Narayan Rishis exhibited his renunciation. So all the different indirectly or directly empowered incarnations of the Lord manifested different features. But Lord Kṛṣṇa, the primeval Lord, exhibited the complete features of Godhead, and thus it is confirmed that he is the source of all other incarnations. And the most extraordinary feature exhibited by Lord Sri Kṛṣṇa was his internal energetic manifestation of his pastimes with the cowherd girls. His pastimes with the gopis are all displays of transcendental existence, bliss, and knowledge, although they are manifested apparently as sex love. The specific attraction of his pastimes with the gopis should never be misunderstood. The Bhāgavatam relates these transcendental pastimes in the 10th canto. In order to reach the position to understand the transcendental nature of Lord Krishna's pastimes with the gopis, the Bhāgavatam promotes the student gradually to the other 9 cantos. So you got to go step by step, read one canto at a time until you get to the 10th canto. Otherwise, you're bound to misunderstand these pastimes between the devotee, the gopis, and Krishna. You'll think it's like similar to our mundane sex love, as Prabhupada calls it.
Yeah. According to
go ahead and read the next one.
According to Srila Jiva Goswami's statement, in accordance with authoritative sources, Lord Kṛṣṇa is the source of all other incarnations. It is not that Lord Kṛṣṇa has any source of incarnation. All the symptoms of the supreme truth and the full are present in the person of Lord Sri Kṛṣṇa. And in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord emphatically declares that there is no truth greater than or equal to himself. In this stanza, the word Savayam is particularly mentioned to confirm that the Lord Kṛṣṇa has no other source than himself. Although in other places the incarnations are described as Bhagavan because of their specific functions, nowhere are they declared to be the Supreme Personality. In the stanza, the word Savayam signifies a supremacy as the Sumam Bonam.
Yeah, that's what Jiva Goswami, very intricately and with all kinds of Vedic scriptural reference, established Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original Swayam Bhagavan, the original personality of Godhead. The Saman Bonam Krishna is one without a second. He has expanded himself. Whoops. Just lost my speakers here. Has expanded himself in various parts, portions, and particles as Swayam Rupa, Swayam Prakash, ekat tadekatma prabhava vaibhava vilas and avatar avesha and jivas, all provided with innumerable energies just suitable to their respective position, persons, and personalities. Learned scholars in transcendental subjects have carefully analyzed the summum bonum Kṛṣṇa to have 64 principal attributes. All the expansions or categories of the Lord possess only some percentages of these attributes, but Sri Kṛṣṇa is the possessor of the attributes %. In other words, 100%. Like Lord Shiva, he has like almost all of the qualities of Kṛṣṇa. And Narayan, he has almost all of the quality, even more than Shiva, because he's Vishnu himself. But Lord Kṛṣṇa has 4 attributes, even more than Narayan. He plays on his flute. He attracts all living entities. He's very beautiful. He's the most beautiful personality in the entire universe. So that's why his name is Kṛṣṇa, because he attracts everybody. But Sri Kṛṣṇa is the possessor of the attributes %, and his personal expansions, such as Svayam Prakash and Tadekatma, up to the categories of the avatars, who are all Vishnu Tattva, possess up to 93% of these transcendental attributes. Lord Shiva, who is neither avatar nor Avesha, nor in between them, possesses almost 84% of the attributes. But the jivas, or the individual living beings in different statuses of life, possess up to the limit of 78% of the attributes. In the conditioned state of material existence, a living being possesses these attributes in a very minute quantity, varying in terms of the pious life of the living entity. The most perfect of living beings is Brahma, the supreme administrator of one universe. He possesses 78% of the attributes in full. All other demigods have the same attributes in less quantity, whereas human beings possess the attributes in a very minute quantity. The standard of perfection for a human being is to develop the attributes up to 78% in full. The living being can never possess attributes like Shiva, Vishnu, or Lord Kṛṣṇa. The living being can become godly by developing the 78% transcendental attributes in fullness, but he can never become God, a god like Shiva, Vishnu, or Kṛṣṇa. He can become a Brahma in due course. The godly living beings, who are all residents of the planets in the spiritual sky, are eternal associates of God in different spiritual planets called Haridam and Maheshdam. The abode of Lord Kṛṣṇa is above all spiritual planets and is called Kṛṣṇaloka, or Goloka Vrindavan. And the perfected living being, by developing 78% of the above attributes in fullness, can enter the planet of Kṛṣṇaloka after leaving the present material body. Have any questions about that?
Yeah, actually, you pretty much summed it up.
Yeah. I like the fact that they talk about other planets. You know, people are always interested in other planets, but we have information of planets. They have no idea what they're talking about when they talk about like interplanet, you know, UFOs and stuff. But we have information about other planets. And there are planets above this material universe in which, you know, birth, death, old age, and disease are conspicuous by their absence. They have no idea about that. The scientists can't even understand that.
No.
Text 29, Janma Guyam Bhagavato Yaitat Prayato Nara Swayam Pratar Ganad Bhaktya Dukkha Gramad Vimuchyate. Synonyms: Janma, birth; Guyam, mysterious; Bhagavata, of the Lord; Ya, one; Etat, all these; Prayata, carefully; Nara, man; Swayam, evening; Pata, morning; Grihanan, recites; Bhaktya, with devotion; Dukkha Gramat, from all miseries; Vimuchyate, gets relief from. Translation: whoever carefully recites the mysterious appearances of the Lord with devotion in the morning and in the evening gets relief from all miseries of life. It says in the Bhagavad Gita that whoever understands my appearance and activities does not take birth in this material world again, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. So just by understanding how the Lord appears, the nature of his appearance, and it's very mysterious, but if you can understand it, then you go back to Godhead, because that means you're in tune with what Lord Kṛṣṇa actually is. Go ahead and read the purport.
In the Bhagavad Gita, the personality of Godhead has declared that anyone who knows the principles of the transcendental birth and activities of the Lord will go back to Godhead after being revealed from the material tabernacle. So simply knowing factually the mysterious ways of the Lord's incarnation in this material world can liberate one from material bondage. Therefore, the birth and activities of the Lord are manifested by him for the welfare of the people in general are not ordinary. They are mysterious, and only by those who carefully try to go deep into the matter by spiritual devotion is the mystery discovered. Thus one gets liberation from material bondage. It is advertised, therefore, that one who simply recites this chapter of Bhagavatam describes the appearance of the Lord in different incarnations, and sincerity and devotion can have an insight into the birth and activities of the Lord. The very word
Vimukti.
Vimukti, or liberation, indicates that the Lord's birth and activities are all transcendental. Otherwise, simply by reciting them, one could not attain liberation. They are therefore mysterious, and those who do not follow the prescribed regulations of devotional service are not entitled to enter into the mysteries of his births and activities.
Just like, you can do something mechanically. You can read these words, but unless you have a realization, unless Kṛṣṇa reveals himself to you in those words, you're not going to get any kind of benefit from it. But if you actually chant one word of Kṛṣṇa, one mantra, if you really do that, it doesn't matter how many sins you commit for the rest of your life or in future lifetimes, you're wiped clean. There's no amount of sin that you can commit that would be possibly you'd able to be committing just by, the simple, you won't suffer any reactions if you chant the holy name. In fact, a dog or chandala, like a dog eater, like the lowest ring on the caste society in Indian culture, chandala is like a dog eater. He said a dog eater, if he understands, if he can chant Hare Krishna, he's automatically capable of performing a Vedic sacrifice.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's like really, really powerful, but you have to be blessed in order to understand it. And if you're not, then it doesn't matter how many times you recite these incarnations. If Kṛṣṇa doesn't reveal it to you, you're not going to understand it. So it's not a matter of just mechanically repeating. It's all mysterious and transcendental, and it's all revealed when Kṛṣṇa wants himself to be revealed. Text 30. Etad rupam bhagavato hyar rupasya chidatmana maya gunar virachitam mahadidibir atmani. Translation: Etat, all these, rupam, forms, bhagavata, of the Lord, he certainly, arupasya, of one who has no material form, chit atmana, of the transcendence, maya, material energy, gunai, by the qualities, virachitam, manufactured, mahat adibi, with the ingredients of matter, atmani, in the self. Translation: the conception of the Virat, universal form of the Lord, as appearing in the material world is imaginary. That's what Lord Kṛṣṇa revealed to Arjuna on the battlefield. It's just an imaginary Virat, universal form. It's not real. It's not who Kṛṣṇa really is. It is to enable the less intelligent and neophytes to adjust the idea of the Lord's having form. But factually, the Lord has no material form. Go ahead.
The purport is the conception of the Lord known as the Vishvarupa or the Vairuta is particularly not mentioned along with the various incarnations of the Lord, because all the incarnations of the Lord mentioned above are transcendental, and there is not a tinge of materialism in their bodies. There is no difference between the body and self as there is in the conditioned soul. The Varut is conceived for those who are just neophyte worshippers. For them, the material Virat-Varupa is presented, and it will be explained in the second canto. In the Virat-Varupa, the material manifestations of different planets have been conceived as his legs, hands, etc. Actually, all such descriptions are for the neophytes. The neophytes cannot conceive of anything beyond matter. The material conception of the Lord is not counted in the list of his factual forms as Paramatma or Supersoul. The Lord is within each and every material form, even within the atoms, but the outward material form is but an imagination, both for the Lord and for the living being. The present form as of the conditioned souls are also not factual. The conclusion is that the material conception of the body of the Lord is Virat, is imaginary. Both the Lord and the living being are living spirits and have original spiritual bodies.
Yeah, like neophytes are so people can't understand how there would be one individual person who is the form, the cause of all causes. How can one, because they think of Kṛṣṇa as being like an ordinary guy like you and me, I think there was a song back in the 90s. So what if God was one of us, just a slob like one of us, getting on the bus. But the thing is, he is not an ordinary person. And so, but in order for them to conceptualize God, the best thing is to maybe actually try to conceptualize the universe as being, like the clouds are his hair and the mountains are his bones, and like different forms of the universe are actually just parts of God, which is somewhat true, but it's not really actual. It's just a method of conceptualizing it and fixing that form, and then when they actually meditate on that, then Kṛṣṇa will reveal himself, if you have that mentality. But it's like, we were requested in the Bhagavad Gita and other books to like meditate on the form of God. Anyway, we're out of time here. You have any quick question?
I think we could sum it up for the night.
Thank you, Alan. Talk to you later.
Hare Krishna.
Haribo.